Oh, that was a headache. I did a software update, see, and my software decided it didn't like my webcam, it didn't like my life, it didn't like anything. So, hi, I'm extra cranky. I'm Taylor. It is, the hell is it? November 21st, Thanksgiving week, whatever, all this crap. I review comics. I'm wearing a Hellboy shirt. You can buy it at taylorwinder.com. And I got a stack of shit this week. I usually go worst to best. And then somewhere in the middle, I realized it's all about the same crap. But either way, it's what I've been doing, and I'm still going to keep doing it. So worst to best, I did not read anything digital again this week. I know, it's been like the third week in a row I've said that, but life finds a way to get in the way of enjoying life. That's my deep-ass bullshit statement for the week. All right, worst book. And this one I bought out of habit. I'm a completionist. I'm a sucker. I'm whatever the hell you want to call it. It's Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight. I needed to know how the story ended, and it was about as stupid as I thought it would be, because the whole story's been just a jobber, bullshit, stupid story, and this is a jobber, bullshit, stupid ending. David Proposed can write better. I know he can. I know I've liked something he's written lately. I can't remember what, because I got the memory of an old fucker that reviews comics every week and instantly forgets whether they're good or bad, and then I buy them next week, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that was bad. So yeah, this was bad. It's the epitome of mediocrity. It's like you can just it oozes writing for a paycheck. And listen, I get paid too. If I don't love my job, I do it. I get paid, and then I bitch about life, and I come on here and it's my escapism. But this is just not a good comic, and it could be. That's the part that really drives me nuts. Is I do know Propose can write decent comics, and Moon Knight's an interesting character, and the premise of this story, going to the land of a dead to rescue a child that shouldn't be there, is an interesting enough framework for the story. But all the shit that came after that framework is just blah. And then the resolution is just blah. And like giving Moon Knight new powers in the land of the dead just to do it, and then the way it was all resolved, like, it is the most predictable, garbagey nonsense you could think of. And is it awful? No. But that's part of it. If it was awful, I'd at least be like, well, maybe they swung for the fences and fucking missed. But no, this is just worse because it's just so fucking meh. All right, next. I probably shouldn't have gotten this, but whatever. I'm a sucker. I liked the Secret Wars back in the day. I haven't read it since I was originally out, and like the stupid toys with the little reflector thingy on the shields. They all shields for some stupid ass reason. And it's Tom DeFalco, who I don't think I've read anything since the 80s of either. And art by Oliffy, sure. And this is like taking place during the time, and it's Black Suit Spidey gets transported away. That's the story. It's got 80s crap dialogue. It's got 80s crap interactions with the Human Torch. It's got some decent enough spreads in here, and the art's not awful. Nameless villains. The Beyonder's up to something, maybe, or maybe it's not the Beyonder. There's really not much of a story here. Spider-Man gets dragged back into the universe. The Human Torch shows up, and then there's fighting. It's really light on stuff. It's amusing enough. It doesn't quite hit all the beats as the old story did, but what does? And I think I just wrecked any spec value by just crunching the book there because I'm a moron. I know. It is what it is, people. I'm having a day. I'm having a week, a month, and even a year. It's all right. It's not great. It's not awful. It's better than fucking Moon Knight because it at least has some nostalgic joy to it, but it's not a good book. All right. Yeah, these next bunch we could interchange them all because they're all about that same order of like, whatever. So, whatever. Justice Society of America. I swear I've said I'm going to keep reading this digitally. I know I read it digitally for a bit, and then I'm like, well, then I forgot. Then I picked it up this week. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I've been reading it digitally. So it's Jeff Johns writing and Marco Santucci in the art. The art is not bad. Like the Huntress is back in time in an alternate world where her Batman's dad. And this is the new story arc where like their dad doesn't really give a shit about her, and like then there's other characters that I don't know, and like there's a forming of a new Justice Society, kind of, and then there's like the forming of a new Legion of Superheroes, kind of, and then there's just like some girl trying to break a curse and kind of messing with things. It's just kind of a lot of threads in this issue that don't go anywhere, don't get resolved, and like it's been long enough since I read the last one. I don't remember these threads being in place. I really thought the last one wrapped up a story arc, so maybe I'm missing the issue. But like I was kind of lost in this one. I kind of don't give a shit. And if I remember to actually like take my own advice, I should just start writing stuff down. But I don't do any of this stuff. I'll start reading it digitally because I have a digital subscription for the year, and it's not as bad as the other 2 books I read, like the Secret Wars and the Moon Knight. But it's not great. And like Jeff Johns can write. I know it. I've seen him write. He's better still. This is still better than Proposes crap on Moon Knight. It's not fantastic. It's all right. If you're got a real raging boner for the old Justice Society in the Golden Age, which is like you're probably 90, and that's I'm good on you and having that boner. But like it's fine. It's inoffensive. It's fine. And then it's inoffensive. It's fine. It's Titans. I fuck these 2 books up in my head all the time because they're both about the same. Although this one I think has better art, if I remember. Yeah, I like the art better in this. Who is the art in this? Who the hell's the art in this? Scott. That tells me nothing. All right. Remember when they used to have the art right on the first page with indicia, and then like you could tell it's first print or not, and they got rid of all that shit, and it's really annoying. So you got to flip through the book and be like, who the hell wrote through this? And then you think you get to it, but no, it's just an ad page. So you keep flipping. Here we go. Nope, that's not even it. That's another ad. Is this gonna be at the end? Okay, I give up. I don't care who wrote it. I don't. Like, wait, no, wait, okay. Nicholas Scott. All right, there. I finally got there. It's at the end. This is fine. Not really action-oriented. It's got the new Swamp Thing in it. And it's got a nice lesson about environmentalism, and the whole setup from the first 4 issues turns to be a nothing burger, because that's how this all goes. Like all the B-plot of like who's going to... I don't want to spoil for you if you haven't read it, but there's a B-plot. And there's evil afoot. And then the evil afoot goes fucking nowhere in this one. Like it's just like, well, that's an easy, stupid resolution. And yeah, then they replant a forest. I mean, honestly, there's really not much to this one. It's not awful. It's Tom Taylor. It's really well illustrated. I really like the illustration, but nothing. I gotta remember, digital. Just read this shit digitally. Save yourself however much money. $4 a month. I could have been like, listen, I could have saved. I just gotta save $8. That's 4 losing Powerball tickets. All right. Next. Black Hammer. Please end it already. No, not really. This is Black Hammer at the end. I've liked the Black Hammer universe. There's the farm, and then there's like a weird pocket universe of all the old heroes. Then there's the real universe, and then there's a multiverse of madness. And it's hard to keep track of, even as I think I'm caught up on all of this. I really do. But there's like Jeff Lemire's playing with like stand-ins from other universes. Like there's a Galactus stand-in and a Darkseid stand-in, and then all these other like superhero sort of fill-ins that he's kind of made his own. Malachi Ward's art has taken a long time to grow on me, but he's got this sort of like nice indie sensibility when it comes to superheroes, where he's not really drawing them in a superhero-y way, but I dig it. Like I didn't at first, but like that's one of the strong points of it. I'm going to keep reading this because I'm so damn invested in this universe. I have 2 of the omnibuses, and I've read the other sort of Black Hammer with the new Black Hammer, but like it's a lot to really try and pay attention to. All these threads are starting to go over and back together, and like you're going to be lost if you try and jump in on this one. And I know I've said this in a previous review. It makes it hard to review. I probably really should just wait for the omnibus on this. It's like waiting for the digital, but like I can't help it. I like there's like weird enough characters, and there's Colonel Weird, and there's all these other things, and I just kind of like it, but it's kind of a confusing mess at this point. There's still like all these little subplots are advancing a little bit in this issue. Instead of like focusing on one thing and going all the way towards the end and having that subplot sort of go somewhere, it's like everything sort of inches along a little bit. And then you're like, okay, everything inched along a little bit this issue. And that's what it's been doing these past 4 issues. Everything's inching along a little bit. So instead of getting like any real idea of what's going on in any of the A plot, B plot, C plot, I don't even know which order they're in and how you label them, you're just kind of like inching along. So we're 4 issues of inching along in, and it's not bad. It's not great. decent. I like it, but it's not going to be for most people if you haven't read the other stuff. And just read the first couple volumes of Black Hammer on the Farm are great. It's taken a dip since then. It's still a bit of a dip, but I'm hoping that the end resolves it and it like comes back up into like the amazing quality that it was at first. All right, this is not bad either. This is a nothing burger of a book too, but it's like Godzilla, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. So far, there's not even any Kong in this book. Spoilers, but it's a gorgeous book by Duce. Let's see where they put that art. Like, just put it in the fucking beginning for us old goddamn people. All right, who cares? Look, there's a splash page of Superman fighting Godzilla. That's all you really want in this book. You get some of that, and then you get the Justice League spread out fighting all these other kaiju, and that's it. It's like Superman's trying not to really knock the shit out of Godzilla, but Godzilla's knocking the shit out of him. That's the main part of this book without spoiling a whole lot. And then somebody wrote it. And is it at the end? It better be at the fucking end, because I can't. God damn it. Nope. Oh, yeah, it's at the end. Christian Duce. It's Brian Bucoletto on the art. And, like, there is a thing that happens at the end that's shocking because it's going to change the super universe forever. It's not. This is a nothing book, but it's fun. And, like, it's just the problem is knowing that this is not in continuity or knowing it's not going anywhere kind of does ruin the consequences and the stakes of it all. But it's if you want a really well-drawn book that's got some kaiju in it and, like, they sort of fight the Justice League, but not even really all that well. Like, it could be more bombastic and more action-filled, but it's decent. So, there you go. All right. Anti-Semitism and bowling and Andy Samberg from Saturday Night Live and what's that, Brooklyn 9/11 or I don't know, whatever show he's on, Brooklyn 911. And then and Rick Remender and Joe Troman. The Holy Roller. I thought this would be a fun book. Not really a fun book. It's kind of a sad book about a kid that leaves home from his dad who's not proud of, even though his dad's like kind of living his best little quiet life and being a really good bowler, and this kid's kind of a twat and goes to be in the Merchant Marines, the Peace Corps, but like is just not doing peace and kind of a douchebag, and then he comes home. That's the plot of this issue. It's a setup. I think one of the artists might have been on Scumbag. I can't really remember, but like it looks like it might be a artist from back in Scumbag, the Joe Troman. It could have been. But yeah, it's just there's racism in here. There's bowling, and there's a kind of a douchebag main character who's going to find redemption, I'm sure, and become something he's not. But this is a setup issue. It's a big one. I mean, it's enough pages. I'm not counting them because I don't care that much. How much did I pay for this fucking thing anyways? I don't know. It was free, I guess, because I can't find the price. Oh, no, $4. So it's okay. It kind of reminds me of Scumbag, but it's not fun. Like, this is just kind of a book about a sad guy, a bad relationship with his dad at this point, with a few minor little jokes thrown in about mostly the Paperboy video game. And, yeah. All right, we're doing these together because it's my channel. I can do what I want. Wonder Woman 2 and 3. They didn't have Wonder Woman last time. I probably should just read it digitally. It's Tom King. Scott Campbell. It's not Scott Campbell. Who the fuck is the artist? Oh, it's going to be at the end. Hang on. This is what you watch for, like the riveting content where I just kind of bullshit my way through stuff, trying to figure out who drew it. The art is gorgeous. It really is. But, like, and there's a B story that I don't really care about Wonder Woman's kid or some shit. Or one has Nubia, the other one has somebody else. And then, all right, I'm not, because there's a B story in the back, I'm not even hunting for the artist. You can find it online. It's Tom King writing. It's intrigue. There's like U.S. is at war with the Amazons for some reason. I can't remember. Somebody killed something or somebody, like, whatever. And, like, Wonder Woman's at the heart of it, and, like, she's being a silent badass and just being a person with an invisible jet through this whole thing. And that part's cool. Like, I like Tom King's take on Wonder Woman. And, like, the fact that she's just, like, he's like, really kind of being like, no, she's a heavy hitter in the DC universe. Like, you mess with her at your own peril. And, like, there's Sergeant Steele and there's all these other people that are messing with her at her own peril. And she's trying to figure out what's going on with some girl named Emily. And, yeah, the part that annoys me with this, and it's a Tom Kingism, is like, well, there's also the lasso of lies, which is it's kind of an interesting idea in issue number 3. So it's first appearance of lasso of lies, or lasso of falsehood, or lasso of whatever. There's something. Some other lasso. I believe it's first appearance. Maybe it's not. Who the fuck cares? But anyways, the thing that really annoys me is there's an omniscient narrator, the device that Tom's using in this whole thing, and like it's kind of got a kind of annoyingly douchebaggy omniscient narrator tone. Like, don't you, what an abomination you are for them for all their talking of affection and caring. Like, it's just kind of grating. Like, I just wish the story device of the blue text, I wish you just wouldn't fucking do it. I wish you just, like, let the story be told. It sort of, like, feels like the narrated version of Blade Runner where you don't really need it. It just makes shit worse. That's how I feel about the narration. The art is amazing. Probably like a lot of DC's books are really well drawn right now, but this is really well drawn. And the story enough and the premise enough is enough. Keep me going. 2 issues, I think it should have gone further, but there are backup bullshit things in here about like some kid named Trinity or something where Damon Wayne has to babysit. And then there's a backup one with Nubia. But there's some cool stuff. There's an invisible jet scene that's pretty cool. There's just like the hallway fight in or the elevator fight in Captain America that taken up to the nth level in issue number 3 here with Wonder Woman. You'll know if you read it, and it's not like this is good. It's solid, but like it just have enough of that annoyance with that fucking narrator that just kind of bugs me. All right, next we got 2 books left. Batman Offworld. This is Jason Aaron's first Batman book ever, and that's the selling point. Honestly, like it's Batman in space fighting a bunch of aliens, and you learn why he's in space, and it might be the dumbest fucking reason ever. It really is stupid, and it makes no damn sense unless they're pretending that like nothing else exists in Batman's universe other than Batman, and like he's never seen any hero before. If otherwise, the reasoning makes no sense. However, it's a fun story illustrated by Don Bonke. It's gorgeous, and like you get some cool weird aliens. You get Batman getting his ass whooped on a spaceship, and you kind of learn why. It's just the why is really fucking dumb. But it's fun. Like, you get enough of the Batmanisms in here to make it an enjoyable read. And that's kind of all I can really say about it without spoiling it. I liked it, but it's another book that's not going to go anywhere. And it's Elseworld or Black Label or whatever. Hell, maybe it's in continuity. I don't know, but then it's not set in modern day, or it doesn't make any sense if it is. So it's fun. It makes it this high on the list because of some of the fun elements. But you have to really suspend disbelief in about 4 billion different directions for this to make any work at all. So there's that. Speaking of just suspending disbelief and making it all work, we got my book of the week, which I think actually came out last week. But again, my LCS didn't have it, and I got this week. Yeah. Rumpus Room number 3. This is Mark Russell writing, and Ramon Rosales. Look, it's on the fucking cover. You got the first and last name on the cover, so I can tell who the hell it is. Basically, there's this rich kind of financial asshole who has a bunch of prisoners kept in his basement, and he turns them into skin cream one at a time. And so there's that element where he's on top and living his like best life because he's a 1%er and all that, and like just kind of the world's biggest douchebag. And then there's everything below him. And so you get his world where he's like there and like they're all douches and they're all that stuff too. But then you also, in this issue, you start to get the caste system of the prisoners that have been trapped for a long time. And you see how they interact with themselves in prison. You get the Stockholm Syndrome a bit going on. You get like sort of tribal nature and like teams forming. And it's pretty interesting. It's sarcastic. It's dark humor. It's over the top. It's Mark Russell. It's satirical. He basically, it's not a subtle way of saying society's a whole lot of screwed up right now. And he's not really wrong, but it's an entertaining read. So this is issue number 3 of 5. At this point, we'll just wait for the trade if you haven't found it. Like if they even trade it, like it's not going to be probably anything it turns into a movie, so you don't have to spec it. It's probably just going to be its own thing, a comic for comic book's sake. And I like this. The cover is interesting. Doesn't really have a whole lot to do with what's going on in there, but like this is my favorite book of this week. It's not a good week for comics. A lot of comics, but like everything's almost kind of at the meh level. And so this is high. It's not amazing. Like most, I don't know, 2023, I don't think it's been an amazing year for books. But I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine enough. So there we go. That's what I read. Let me know if I missed some shit. Leave me comments down below. I don't know. Don't be a dick. See ya.